Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your time zone, and welcome to Moral Compass 101. It's my humble prayer that you have had a good week. Mine has been okay. And in the words of Psalmist, chapter 91 and verses 1, I have continued to dwell in the shelter of the Most High and to abide in the shadows of the Almighty. Having said that, a quick recap on our last topic, which was an acronym, MENDA, which translates to motive, intention, decisions, and action. Under that, I went ahead to say that all these four aspects complete the metamorphosis of change through their interdependency relationship. As we continue to garner knowledge through Moral Compass 101, I would please request them that have not subscribed to Moral Compass 101 to please do so. And let's continue commenting in order to interact and sharing and liking in order to spread knowledge. Today, I believe we shall deal with the last topic under the umbrella of change, where the topic of the day is the three types of change. Three types of change. Change as a law of nature has three different clusters, where the quest of becoming a more productive and effective person, you are supposed to choose which type of change that's appropriate in your life, or the change that best suits your present and your future self. Previously, I've said that change does three things to you. It develops you, it transitions you, and it transforms you. So, in matters improvement, we have what we call developmental change, while in matters transition, we have transitional change, and in matters transformation, we have transformational change. In essence, these are the three types of changes: developmental change, transitional change, and transformational change. Let's start with developmental change. With the truth that life is a precious or a variable to leave to chance, with the truth that life is so precious or variable to leave to chance, developmental change is a lifelong, ongoing, conscious need, underline the word need, in pursuit of self-improvement, in the quest of enhancing your potential, your skills, and your present and future quality of life. That developmental change does not alter your transgression. All it does, it ensures the smooth running of your course. This process encompasses seeking knowledge and self-awareness as essentials of self-growth across all your life aspects in order to attain your present and future aspirations and become the very best version of yourself. It will not get off or delay you from your trajectory of the inspirations, but it will seek continuously to make you better version of yourself. This extremely imperative need involves building skills in person or through supportive networks, those are the social capitals, self-reflection, mentorship, setting goals, seeking feedbacks, and fostering a positive mindset. as a preemptive measure to navigate life adversaries. That you need to bring on board all these measures in order to develop or you are to make your life more better, your course of action more better. And one of the things that we shall be dealing with maybe in the next topic is supportive networks that includes social capital. Developmental change is a more progressive oriented but not necessarily perfection oriented. It's gradual and likewise incremental. It goes bit by bit. It's an ongoing life process of making yourself better. So it's not a rapid kind of change. It's gradual but incremental. The second transition, the second change is transitional change. Sorry. Transitional change is essentially not a change, but a trajectory towards a transformation. Nonetheless, in matters change, the journey, we say, is always as important, if not more important, than the destination. So, unlike the developmental change, which is a gradual but an incremental process, on the same course, transitional change is the introductory overhaul or the reorientation occurrence following a realization that you need a complete new course of action in your life in seeking to replace the old with a new. That transitional change will overhaul all your past. The old is gone and the new has to come in, so it sweeps everything. Nonetheless, letting go or disengaging with the past and navigating a neutral zone of uncertainty is not a walk in the park. Why is it not a walk in the park? Because that's where you shall start having challenges of identity crisis in the quest of forming a new identity. While the external occurrence is the change itself, like quitting your job, the transition is the internal trajectory of adapting to that very situation in order to build a totally new identity. That's why we said it's easier said than done. You can decide to have a transitional change, but that's a decision. But putting that decision in motion or in action is not a walk in the park. This adaptation helps you to distinguish between the what you are and the who you are. The what you are, we have said previously that the what you are is your career. It's subjective. What you are is subjective. You choose to be what you are. It's your career, your occupation, your profession, all this also. And the who you are is your objective reason for existence. This is more of a defined objective reason of your existence. Transitional change hence comes with three phases. This includes the adding phase. This is letting go the old. That's the adding phase. The second phase, it's the most challenging phase. It's the neutral zone. This is the in-between period, the meanwhile moments, the treading on uncharted waters, the intervening period of uncertainty, or the liminal space where the old identity is no longer viable and the new one is not yet fully formed. It's a point of identity crisis as you seek to form a new identity. And the third and the last principle is the introductory phase. This is the last phase of the transitional change that ushers or orients you into the transformational change or to the actual change. The three principles that will help you ease the burden of self-doubt and discomfort, quote unquote, identity crisis during transitional change are: first, embracing the uncertainty, noting that a transitional change is a personal or a self-driven substantive initiative and a persistent proactive action, your potential to withstand the transition challenges is paramount. That nobody coerced you to embrace the transition, to start the transition of change. So you have to take all the pains for you to achieve the gains. The second principle that will ease this trajectory is seeking support. Forming or establishing a social capital network is vital on your trajectory from the known to the unknown. An individual who have had ample courage to traverse on the journey of transitional change can offer great and variable and viable mentorship. That if you seek somebody who have already traveled the same journey, they stand a better position to mentor you as you in your transitional change towards a certain transformation. And the final principle is practice self-awareness. Having the potential to tune into your thoughts and intuition are key aspects of your daily actions during the trajectory of your transitional change. Self-awareness is crucial for realizing when and where you need assistance during the transitional change, since it helps you to recognize your emotions, identify your strengths and weaknesses, and also anticipate potential challenges. I think that's self-explanatory. Hence, you can proactively seek support in order to have a strategic and a resilient transitional experience. A transitional change can either be a prerequisite or a catalyst for a transformational change or towards a transformational change. It can be a prerequisite, or a requisite for a catalyst for transformational change. While a transitional change is an external occurrence that focuses on adapting to new circumstances, it initiates the internal psychological process of transition, which ultimately ushers you to the doorstep of transformational change. Without self-external push, you can never have a motivation to question your established prospective self-identity. That if you are not pushed, if the transition does not push you hard enough, you shall not have the motivation to question the already forming but not fully formed self-identity that will be fully formed or fully realized in the next change, which is transformational change. Likewise, without internal psychological willpower that instigates the capability, and the capacity as the potent efficacies of change, adapting to external change remains superficial. See, you need both the external push that will trigger the internal ability, capability, and capacity as the potent efficacies towards adapting to that change. While external forces or challenges like critical feedback can create an impetus to re-examine your established sense of self, without your internal willpower or drive, any changes made in response to external forces will be superficial, unsustainable, or merely an imitation of new behavior rather than a genuine transformation. They have to work, internal force has to work, together with, or interdependency. Have to have an interdependency with the external, have to have an interdependency with the internal, so that the real change, transformational change, can be realized. it's a matter of, internal versus external motivation. Transitional change is the nexus that weighs your what, or your career or occupation, against your who, your self-identity, or your purpose, or the reason of existence. That's the transitional change, is the nexus, is a pivot point that weighs those two things. This occurrence, this occurrence or transition represents the internal, intangible aspects of who you are, which often lie beneath your professional persona. Moving from what to who, which I say that the what, is subjective and the who is objective. So it's a matter of subjective versus objective reality. The eventual or ultimate goal of transitional change is a paradigm shift that helps you to arrive at a new phase of life with a totally new way of thinking, behaving, and a new self-identity. And that is transitional change. And our final change, or the third change, is the transformational change. Transformational change is the profound, radical, or revolutionary shift, or the eventual actual outcome that emanates from transitional change, where you embrace a new beginning and form a new self-identity as a new way of being, human being, as a new way of being, following the wake of a significant transitional change. This is the destiny of your transitional change. To transform, you must successfully transition from your old mindset and your old ways of being. The radical shift that comes with transformational change demands the quintessence of your self-identity as the objective reason of your existence over your career, profession, or occupation, which are the quiddity of your humanism. Quiddity is the fundamental whatness of your being. You're a human being, that's the quiddity, and every human being, has a career, has a profession, or has an occupation. But what goes beyond your quiddity is your objective purpose of existence. So the transformation will seek to deal with your objective purpose of existence vis-a-vis your quiddity, or your career, occupation or profession. While transformational change can at times supplant your career or occupation, or overcome your career or occupation, its fundamental objective is to integrate a new reality as a finality that brings your new insight, knowledge, and understanding as aspects of wisdom towards a viable sense of purpose, in order to create a more rewarding, fulfilling, and a meaningful life of contentment. Yeah, the primary objective of transformational change is not to alter or to delete, your profession, your career, or your occupation, but rather to go deeper into getting your defined or objective purpose of existence, so that you can achieve a fulfilling life. So, in closing, it's at a point of purpose fulfillment that one can genuinely realize the importance of philanthropically changing humanity, and a purpose-free, practically and passionately adherence to that cause. I'll repeat that statement. It's at a point of purpose fulfillment that you can genuinely realize the importance of philanthropic changing humanity, and purposefully, practically, and passionately adhering to that cause. That this means that it's only through your fulfilled purpose that you can find the urge to touch and change other people's life through charity, through donating your resources, your time, and the like. So, it's a challenge to each one of us. What kind of change do you deserve to adapt in your life? Until next time, please stay safe. Blessings and shalom.